Hello, I'm Brandon Jackson and welcome to my video presentation for consumer insights. Today I'm going to be covering four topic areas of consumer behaviour theory, including attitude and persuasion, perception, motivation and family and reference groups, whilst also evaluating how a chosen brand has applied them in their marketing activities and comparing them to a competitor. My chosen brand is Audi and my chosen competitor is BMW.
Audi is a German car manufacturer whose history can be traced back to the 19th century, when founder August Horch founded his first automobile company, Horch& Kai, in Cologne, Germany in 1899. He went on to leave the company 10 years later following disputes between board members and immediately founded a new company under the name of Audi Automobile Work in Zwickau. Following World War II, the company moved to Ingolstadt under the new name of Auto Union. The company later underwent a rebrand in the early 1960s, changing its name to Audi before becoming part of the Volkswagen Group in 1965. Today, Audi is still based in Ingolstadt, and since being purchased by Volkswagen in the 60s, has grown to become one of the largest car manufacturers in the world with a global brand value of $13.8 billion according to Forbes. Audi currently has a UK market share of 6.47% in 2020 so far, with its most popular model being the Audi A3 with over 18,000 new registrations last year. There are several reasons as to why I chose to compare Audi with BMW. Firstly, the brands have similar price points for their vehicles. They both share the same market share in the UK at 6.47%, and both brands manufacture vehicles in the same category. An attitude is defined as a latent disposition or tendency to respond with some degree of favourableness or unfavourableness towards an object. Oskamp and Schultz identified that attitudes are learnt through experiences and have evaluative dimensions as well as intensity, meaning that they can be strong or weak and have consistency and stability, which means they may not tend to change much and align with other attitudes. The functional theory of attitudes was originally developed in 1960 by Daniel Katz as a means of explaining how attitudes facilitate behaviour. He identified four different functions. Firstly, you have the utilitarian function, which states that we develop an attitude on the basis of whether the product provides pleasure or pain, meaning that in order to appeal to this function, marketers should focus on demonstrating the benefits of the product as noted by Solomon. Attitudes that form the value expressive function express the consumer's central values and notes that a person develops an attitude towards a product because of what it might say about them as a person. Katz noted that these attitudes are aroused by cues associated with the individual's values and by the need to reassert his or her self-image. The ego-defensive function refers to attitudes that are formed in order to defend a person from external threats or feelings. Katz also noted that these attitudes can be changed by removing the threat posed. Finally, the knowledge function of attitudes are developed because of a need for order, structure, or meaning, so manufacturers need to supply information to satisfy these needs in order to have positive attitudes developed towards them and for customers to refer back to when purchase decisions are made. Audi have had to target the functional theory of attitudes following the release of their electric vehicle range, as people still see them as too niche and don't believe in their reliability. This example from Audi is the e-tron Charger Head series posted to their social media pages, Facebook, Instagram and YouTube. It sees tech influencers Georgie Barrett and Otis Deli taking a road trip in Audi's new vehicle from the UK to Belgium in order to disprove the myth that electric cars are not suitable for long road trips. Across the series, the pair debunk several different myths that include that cars aren't fun to drive, they can't get wet and they aren't built for off-roading settings by putting the car through different tests. By proving that the myths about electric cars are not in fact true, Audi are attempting to target the knowledge function of attitudes as they provide necessary information about the product to allow the consumers to form positive opinions towards the car. At the same time, Audi also look to target the utilitarian function of attitudes. They do this by showing off features of the e-tron, such as its speed, panoramic sunroof and 30-minute charge times, framing them as benefits of owning the car. Doing this allows the viewers to develop positive views towards the e-tron through developing ideas about the rewards it offers. Much like Audi, BMW have targeted the functional theory of attitudes following the release of an electric car, in their case the i3. They've had to do this in order to attempt to begin to change people's attitudes towards the new electric technology that is supposed to replace petrol and diesel vehicles in the future, but currently struggles with not being considered by many motorists. In this instance, BMW released an advert showing the building of a BMW i3. As the advert progresses through the assembly of the car, BMW provide the audience with information highlighting the sustainable considerations put into use when making it. For example, the fact that their assembly plants use 100% sustainable resources to power it, and the use of sustainable materials such as eucalyptus wood and kenaf to replace the use of petroleum-based plastics in the making of their interiors. In doing this, BMW are targeting the knowledge function of attitudes by highlighting and educating their audience to the positive effect that the car can have on the planet. Towards the end of the advert, features including the BMW i3's electric driving pleasure, small turning circle, and interior features are shown. In doing this, it targets the utilitarian function of attitudes as it aims to show off some of the benefits and features of owning an i3. The two brands' attempts at targeting the attitude functions have had varying success. On one hand, Audi's campaign saw responses from their audience suggesting that they had failed in their attempts to change the attitudes towards electric vehicles, with responses still showing a lack of trust in the e-tron's capability to match the reliability of diesel and petrol cars. On the other hand, BMW's campaign appears to have shown changes in attitude towards the electric vehicle, with their audience responding in a positive manner, suggesting an attitude change. However, when you consider the wider car market, both brands ultimately need to do more to change people's perceptions of electric vehicles, as 50% of Brits still claim they'd never choose electric cars over the other options. Perception is defined as the process through which information in the form of stimuli in the environment is selected, organised and interpreted through the sense organs. The process follows a sequence of steps starting with exposure to the stimulus, which is received by sensory organs. This then gains the attention of audiences, and if a stimulus is successful in grabbing the attention of its audience, it can then be interpreted, which ultimately leads to a response to the stimuli, and a perception about the brand or product can be formed. Sensory marketing is defined as marketing that engages the consumer's senses and affects perception, judgment, and behaviour. It can be used to create subconscious triggers that characterise consumer perceptions of abstract notions of the product. In recent years, technological advancements have enabled advertisers to make the link between our senses and reality more questionable through the introduction of virtual reality. This technology creates three-dimensional perceptual environments that the viewer experiences as being virtually real, according to Solomon, and can greatly affect the consumer perceptions of products, according to Grudzewski et al. Both Audi and BMW have engaged in using virtual reality when in the process of launching new vehicles in order to develop positive perceptions towards their products. The Audi e-tron Experience is a virtual reality event used by Audi as part of their launch for the first electric car. The experience made its debut at the Formula E Grand Prix in Berlin and has since moved around the world to events such as the Audi Summit in Barcelona and the Montreal Auto Show. The virtual reality experience starts by revealing the e-tron concept as it pulls up alongside you, giving the user a chance to see the car up close. After this, the car pulls away, completing laps around a circuit demonstrating its power and its speed. As the experience continues, a hoverboard appears which allows the user to drive alongside the e-tron. At this point, a wind machine is engaged, which lets the user feel the sensation of movement and simulate the speed of the car. The use of virtual reality in engaging the audience's sight, sound, as well as feel through a head-mounted screen, headphones, and a wind machine to deliver the experience allows Audi to create a more positive perception towards the product, which translates into a better reception of the message by audiences than when using a traditional form of advert. BMW's approach to a virtual reality experience differs to Audi in the sense that it's offered on their YouTube channel. This allows the audience to create the experience at home, providing they have the equipment to do so. The experience aims to create positive perception towards their new X3 model through a virtual test drive that takes place on Mars in order to highlight its capabilities as an SUV. Throughout the experience, BMW look to engage the sight and hearing of the audience in different circumstances. Firstly, before the user enters the virtual X3, they get the opportunity to take a look at its interior. This lets them start to develop perceptions about the X3's stylish design. The car also gives out a rev of the engine, which lets the audience develop perceptions about the car's power. As the test moves on, users get a look around the car's interior to see the upholstery, modern dashboard, and learn about driver assistant features on the car to further enhance the positive perception developed by viewers. Both brands have succeeded in their use of virtual reality in sensual marketing, as they have been able to offer tangibility and immersivity when knowledge about their products was low, an important strength of virtual reality noted by Cowen and Ketron. But through the use of specialist equipment, Audi have been able to produce an experience that provides a better perception of their product through greater interactivity. Motivation is described as the process that leads people to behave as they do. It occurs when a need is aroused that the consumer wishes to satisfy. The need causes a state of tension that drives the consumer to reduce or eliminate it. Solomon highlighted that motivations have strength, which refers to the amount of energy a person is willing to expend to achieve a goal compared to another, and they also have direction. This means that many goals can be reached through different routes, and it's up to organisations to show the consumer that their product offers them the best chance to obtain their goal. The expectancy theory was originally proposed by Vroom in 1964 as a means of studying organisational behaviours in order to understand how companies treat their employees. The theory suggests that behaviour is governed by expectations of achieving favourable outcomes and positive incentives. This means, in a marketing context, organisations need to present their product's benefits and frame them as features that allow consumers to believe that what is being offered offers a better chance of gaining positive outcomes than the competition. As Audi and BMW both operate in a crowded and competitive market, both companies look to use the expectancy theory when promoting and advertising their new cars in order to start the audience developing positive expectations of their cars and features instead of worrying about the high prices associated with the two brands. Audi have looked to use the pull theory when advertising their new A3 in order to motivate audiences to buy the car over others. This comes from a desire to increase sales and boost market share in the highly competitive lower and medium sector of the car market. The promotional video for the A3 follows the car as it drives along a long winding road with a picturesque backdrop showing off its stylish design. As the film continues, viewers are shown a range of features and benefits that come along with the car, including its power and speed as it pulls away. Viewers are then shown the car driving around tight corners, which shows off the car's tight and responsive handling. In doing this, Audi allow the audience to develop the expectation that the car provides a safe yet fun drive. As we move through the video, Audi provide looks at the interior of the car, which is finished to a high quality, as well as showing off different built-in features for the driver's use, including digital dashboard display, heated seats, and touchscreens. Showing these different features once again allows Audi to highlight the different benefits of owning an A3, increasing the expectations of a positive outcome when buying a car. Similar to Audi, BMW have used pull theory when launching a new car into a competitive sector of the market in order to gain sales and market share for their 7 Series in the luxury sector. Throughout the film, BMW showed both safe and potentially dangerous driving conditions, demonstrating to the audience that the 7 Series offers a smooth and safe drive in any condition. As well as this, BMW showed the luxury interior of the car, highlighting the quality leather, intricate stitching throughout the upholstery, whilst also showing technological features such as satellite navigation, retractable privacy shades on the rear windows, and responsive headlights. Showing the audience all the different features and driving capabilities that come with the 7 Series allows them to develop the expectation that the car offers a highly luxurious feel to it and creates an expectation of highly desirable outcomes when purchasing the vehicle. A reference group is defined to be an actual or imaginary individual or group conceived of having significant relevance upon an individual's evaluations, aspirations, or behaviour. Reference groups can possess social power, which refers to the capability to alter actions of others. There are 6 different types of social power as set out by French et al. In 1959, which are reward power, coercive power, expert power, legitimate, referent, and information power. When looking to make use of social power, Audi selected to use Top Gear, giving them and their presenter, Chris Harris, an experienced professional driver, an automotive journalist, an RS6 to test drive and review. Throughout the review, Chris Harris gives his opinion on the car as well as talking about the features of it, highlighting its performance and even saying that the RS6 would be an ideal family car. Given his experience in the motor industry, Chris Harris is considered an expert, which means Audi are able to exercise expert power to change behaviour towards their car through gaining positive endorsements from him. However, Top Gear has seen reducing popularity in recent years, with some fans claiming it is no longer watchable, and given that the programme now offers more entertainment than reviews, its expert power has been undermined, which reduces the effectiveness of Audi's attempt to exploit the social power they possess. Much like Audi, BMW also look to use social power for their new 4 Series car, except in their case they choose Car Magazine. Car Magazine offers subscribers the latest news and reviews on cars that are new to the market. They provide consumers with information about the car that will be relevant to them when making a purchase, such as different types of engine available, as well as features, price, and fuel economy with different engines. By allowing Car Magazine to provide the consumer with information about their car, they are using information power by exploiting the Car Magazine's ability to compile and disseminate information. BMW's use of social power can be judged as a success when considering past research, as they have provided the relevant information to help individuals with the ability to make a purchase, which means the influence is more likely to be accepted, as noted by Park and Lessing. So to summarise, consumer behaviour is an important part of marketing, as organisations have to understand the factors that shape attitudes and behaviour. Both brands have shown full understanding in all 4 areas when applying theory to their marketing activities in order to influence consumers. Using expectancy theory in adverts is common with both brands as they look to find competitive advantages, and the use of reference groups and social power differs in success as companies have to offer more relevant information to their consumers.